Well, good morning, my brothers and sisters. I'm glad you were able to tune in with us today. For this is the day that the Lord has made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. I would like to share with you from the book of Matthew, chapter number 8, verse 23 through 27. That's the book of Matthew, chapter number 8, verses 23 through 27. And it reads, As he got into the boat, his disciples followed him. Suddenly, a violent storm arose on the sea, so that the boat was being splashed with waves. But Jesus kept sleeping. So the disciples came and woke him up, saying, Lord, save us. We're going to die. He said to them, Why are you so afraid? You have little faith. Then he got up and rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was a great calm. The men were amazed and asked, What kind of man is this? Even the winds and the sea obey him. I would like to use today for a topic, as I share with you for a few minutes, calm while in the storm, or protected in the storm. I believe that there's a big misconception about God, and I believe that we think that since we are saved by grace through faith, that God won't allow uncertainties to hit our lives. But as you look at this passage and notice the order in which they got onto the boat, it was Jesus, then his disciples. Jesus knew that he would use this storm, and at what point this storm would be used to move the disciples from fear to faith in him, because he knew that they would look at the circumstances, meaning the winds and the waves, but all along the protector was in the ship with them. He knew that their focus would shift from the spiritual things that they had witnessed while walking with him to the natural things that they saw. So Jesus tell us in the Bible, or the Bible tell us, that we walk by faith and not by sight. So the disciples began to focus on what they were seeing and not their faith. So that's why in this passage, Jesus wanted to move them from fear to faith, and the circumstances would give him an opportunity to make them rely on him and to depend on him, because the storms that Jesus allowed to hit and the manner that he allowed that storm to hit very, very violently, just as the storm we just experienced here in our city. It was a very, very powerful, big, and violent storm. I believe that Jesus, or God, is using or has used that storm to move us as a people, as a church, and as a city, and move us from fear, dependency upon man, dependency upon friendship, dependency upon relationship, to a place where he provoked us to move from fear to faith in him, to rely on him, to depend on him, because Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 tells us that we should trust in the Lord with all our heart and not lean into our own understanding, but in all our ways acknowledge him, and he will direct our path. So we're no different than the disciples that were on the boat. He knew that the circumstances and situation that would come upon us last Thursday, that situation would move us, not take us out. It will move us from fear to faith, and faith in him, meaning that it's in him that we live, move, and have our very existence. So my brothers and sisters, that God will allow that storm to hit the sea and the waves to splash and beat upon the boat as they journeyed over. It's no difference. He was in the boat asleep when the storm hit. It's the same with us, my brothers and sisters. When the storm hit, where was God? He was right there with us, protecting us and shielding us from all hurt, harm, and danger. So if we would look at this and understand that God would use the storms to move us from being independent to dependent and relying upon him. And in that storm that he allowed to hit us, he has revealed himself to us in the midst of the storm, just as he revealed himself to the disciples in the midst of the storm. So in order for us to know is on our side, in order for us to really know God is for us, we must and we will have storms. And after the winds and the waves and the storm is over, at that moment, you will have a clear understanding, I believe, that you will be able to rely, depend, and trust on the Almighty God. He's the one to heal us, to save us, to deliver us every time. So my brothers and sisters, I hope this word was a blessing to you. I hope you were able to take something from it. And I hope that you will remember that we are protected in the storm. God bless you.